You're a mum, you're a busy mum. Come listen to the Busy Mum podcast. Life hacks and inspiration for the busy modern mum.
Hi and welcome to the Busy Mum podcast. This podcast is sponsored by my fabulous accountant, Nicole Canali of Canali Tax and Accounting. If you want to hear more about Nicole, she was one of my first guests. I interviewed her on this podcast, episode 14. Check her out. Nicole is a great accountant and together with her team offers services such as data entry, bank recs, BAS for businesses, company tax returns and personal tax returns. She also has a great network of professionals around her and can help with all things financial. Give her a call on 1300 001 971 or email her at info@canalitaxaccounting.com.au. Now let's dive into that interview. So welcome to the Busy Mum podcast, Viv. How are you this morning?
I'm really good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on the show. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So I originally come from the Czech Republic, from Prague, and I've been living in Australia for about 8 years. I work as a marketer, but at the moment I'm on maternity leave with my 3-month-old baby girl. And I'm also working on a venture of a social enterprise that I've just kind of kicked off last week with an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign. Mm-hmm. So that's keeping me busy.
Yes, of course. My goodness, you're taking on a lot with a brand new baby as well.
Yeah.
I noticed when I had my 2 babies, well, actually the first baby, the second baby kind of just fits in and you think, what have I done? But with the first baby, in that first 6 months, you tend to have a bit more time than what you thought you would, I found, because the sleep, there's a lot of sleeping going on.
Yeah, agreed.
And
she's a good sleeper, so I think that's my luck that I can actually get work done. But then you don't have that napping time that other people have. I
never actually napped when my babies were napping. I should have. I was cleaning the house going, oh my God, this house is a mess. I should be, people are going to think I live like a pig. So I never slept during the day either. And I still don't sleep during the day unless I'm extremely tired or something,
Same,
is going on. So, yeah. So tell me about your venture, your social venture. What is it?
So it's called Brush It On, and we are offering bamboo toothbrushes, and each of them are designed by an Australian conservation artist. And so we have 3 themes: oceans, forests, and animals. And so the toothbrushes are connected to different causes. So we support organizations that work for the environment. So 100% of our profits go to those organizations, and we work with the Australian Marine Conservation Society, World Animal Protection, and World Land Trust. And so it's a way for us to really turning an everyday product that is, creating rubbish in landfills into something that's actually sustainable, but also giving back to the planet. So it's kind of closing the loop in a way. Yeah.
So they're made out of bamboo, is that right?
Yeah.
Out. What are the bristles made out of?
So they're made of nylon. That's one of the tricky parts of the bamboo toothbrushes. There's actually no solution to that. There's pig hair, which is a natural solution. I don't actually know, but I feel like, every time I tell someone, they're like, ooh. So I don't think it's a good option. Having said that, some people would opt in for it because it's sustainable and it's actually biodegradable, compostable even.
Yeah.
So, we might actually open that up as an option moving forward, but at the moment it's nylon. There's some plant-based solutions as well, but they just don't last as long. So you would have to change your toothbrush every 2 weeks.
There's your subscription model right there.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the long-term plan anyway. But then with the 2 weeks lifetime, I guess you're thinking about shipping and all the manufacturing costs and energy. So it's not sustainable either, although it's plant-based. So there's, a few people on the market looking for solutions, but it hasn't been found yet, unfortunately. So you have to snap the head off or just take the bristles off and put them into your normal rubbish. And then you can put the handle actually can go into your compost.
Well, what were they doing before, like, the plastic toothbrushes were invented? Like, how were people brushing their teeth? Do you know?
Apparently, I actually looked into it because we use it in our campaign in a bit of a snapshot there, and they used like a twig. So literally just a twig. That's what they used in Egypt. And then people had sort of like made out of different, little pieces of wood or I guess pig hair as well. Just what they could find, yeah.
Yeah, I think with the pig hair, like, because we sell men's grooming products and we use a boar bristle brush for the beard, to brush the beard. And
Yeah.
it's quite, like, stiff. Like, it's really heavy, kind of. You might be able to get different types of grade of it, but the one that we've grade is quite coarse and, like, it gets through that hair. But I wouldn't put it on my teeth because I feel like it would brush the enamel away. Because I know when I go to my dentist, they're like, you need to use like the softest brush you can possibly find.
Yes.
So I'm not too sure.
So we only offer soft bristles at the moment because so we work with a dentist who is kind of helping us to choose the right model.
Yeah.
And she definitely said, soft bristles.
Yeah, absolutely. What about like flossing and stuff? Do you offer anything to floss? Because there's a lot of people, like, flossing apparently is key. That's what the dentist says. Flossing is key.
Too.
And that's just like string, and that's going that's waste, and that's not like breaking down. But I'm sure there would be a product out there that you could invent or find or add on to your core product.
I've been thinking about that because a few people asked me about this, and a few people asked me about electric toothbrushes and the heads. Can you make them out of bamboo, potentially? So there's definitely other things that we want to look into, and we're looking into toothpaste. There is solutions on the market, so we're more looking for a partner in that space. So when we launch our subscription model, you can go, every 3 months you get your set of toothbrushes, you get your eco-friendly toothpaste, and it's all natural, organic.
Yeah. I mean, you're still very new into the business as well. So, like, these are obviously longer term plans.
Yes.
Like once you dive down that hole, it's like, oh my God, I should be doing so much more. Oh, that's right, I have babies.
Yeah.
Got to do that too.
Yeah. I know.
I mean, it's a very hard market to get into because, like, you've got your Colgates and the bigger players. So obviously you're not going to be looking at shelf space on Coles or anything like that. It's just going to be an online thing and maybe gift stores. Is that where you're looking at the moment?
Yeah, I think health stores definitely.
Beyond Life or something. There's a Beyond Life.
There's a few different ones. I guess they're popping up everywhere actually at the moment, I feel. And there's lots of eco-friendly e-shops as well.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you would want to get it into supermarkets or pharmacies at least.
I think pharmacies would be a great market.
Yeah, I work in the Sydney CBD, and a few months back when I was still working, I wanted to buy a bamboo toothbrush, and I went to 4 different pharmacies, went to supermarkets, could not find anything. So I think
there's a gap there.
Yeah, I think there is, and there's also the consumer, I guess, behavior and understanding and consciousness of what's happening is growing every day with the plastic bag ban and all that sort of stuff happening at the moment, that people are looking for those solutions. People are thinking about the products they're actually buying, which is great, and it's really important. So hopefully the supermarkets will have to change and adapt and offer those solutions eventually.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen tomorrow, but it will.
I know people are still getting used to that whole bring your own bag to work day kind of thing.
Yeah.
As soon as I take them out of the car, it's like, oh, I feel like, oh, now I have to buy more of those bags. But it's kind of like I don't want to buy the dollar bags because I've already got a whole heap of them. They're just at home. And it's like, okay, I usually go $1 or $2 bags to add to my collection because I've usually got new designs out, and then I'll get the 15-cent cheap bags, and I will reuse those. I'll just fold them up and I will reuse them. So let's move on. Just describe for us a day in the life of you.
Well, at the moment it's all evolving around the baby, obviously. So every day is a bit different. It's I'm not a big routine person when it comes to the baby, because I feel like she's changing so much all the time that, I kind of follow her lead, and she kind of does have her own routine, but I'm not strict as in, oh, you have to go to bed at 10 a.m. and then this is how long you nap for, this is how long you feed for. So it's a bit flexible. We tend to go out every day, just going for walks, and being outside is good for both of us, I guess. And then when I can, I just squeeze work in. So that's kind of the marathon I'm in at the moment.
And what's your plan? Like, are you hoping that this business will overtake your work, or are you going to just keep it kind of as a part-time thing while you maybe go back to work, or like what's your plan?
It started more as, it's a social enterprise. So it's not about making money for me, really. It's about doing something for the environment, and that's what I wanted to do. So I don't know. I still have about 8 months of maternity leave, so it's had a bit of time, and we're going back home to some of that. So yeah, I keep it open. At the moment, I'm going back to work. That's the plan.
Okay, because I spoke to a lady, it was probably a couple of months ago now, and she was on her maternity leave, but she was a flight attendant. Christy, her name was, and she opened up a cafe with her neighbour.
Oh, wow.
And she wasn't sure if she was going to return to work, and I thought, well, it sounds to me like you're a cafe owner.
Yeah.
But it was also quite hard because I think her partner was also a pilot, so they can't both be away at the same time.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, I mean, it would be great, a great career without children. Like I think she saw a lot of the world and had a great time. But then once those babies come, you kind of, it's not ball and chain, but like you are stuck for a little bit of time until like you until they grow up a bit and that. So all good fun. It's all good fun. So your hack for every day is going for a walk, really, isn't it? Because you say here it recharges your batteries, which I find. Yeah, I love walking. I'm not a runner though. I've mentioned.
No, me
that
neither.
I find like I try, but I just look hideous. I'm like an ugly runner. Like, you know how you get ugly criers? I'm an ugly runner. Like, everything just goes up and down. And I know sports.
I'm not built for running.
Yeah, no, I'm not built for running. But I can lift weights and stuff, so that's all right. So I think you're one or the other. You're either like that really athletic type, or you're like, I'll just lift heavy stuff. So what's the best advice you've received, Viv?
So something I read recently, which kind of stuck with me, was, if it won't matter if in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it. And that really helps me sometimes when I, obsess over some things that are just actually not important, but they go through my head over and over again. And then I stop and go, wait a second, this is not going to be important in 5 years, so don't worry about it. And it just really helps me to let go and just don't think about it anymore. So yeah, that's something I've kind of recently adopted, I guess.
So are you, in your mind, when you're thinking those thoughts, do you just go stop? You just tell yourself stop? Or is there another word that you use, or you just go stop and then try and think about something else?
Yeah, I just kind of tell myself it's not important. Don't spend your time on it. Don't even, bother thinking about it, because it's just not important. And it really helps.
I remember I was a little bit like that when I was younger. When I first met my husband, I was like 22, 23. And I wouldn't worry about much at all, because I thought, that's not going to matter in 5 years. Like, why bother even discussing it if it's not a thing? So, and then then I got older, and then I just started worrying about everything. And I'm like, what's the matter with me? What happened to my brain?
Apparently, it is more a female thing. I read somewhere as well. So I don't know. We just go into that.
The big to-do list. The to-do list kind of stay in your head the whole time, and you just go over and over and over and over again. Now, you mentioned in your notes back to me that you haven't had a TV for 12 years.
Yes.
Now, that's one amazing, because I have a couple of TVs, and I'm sure my listeners also have TVs in their house. I did have an auntie that didn't have a TV, and she had my cousins, her 2 children, and she would they would read books Reader's Digest. I don't know if you know of Reader's Digest.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so they would read those, and we thought, what are they doing? Oh, they're learning. Well, we're too busy watching crap TV, and like play instruments and do gardening. Oh, I see little Bobby. That is my only experience of someone not having the TV. Like, where do you go to get your entertainment?
We entertain each other in a way, I guess. We always love
Baby number
cook.
2 coming on the way.
I know it's.
I like the answer. We entertain each other.
No, but what I mean is we spend a lot of time, we come home from work and we open a bottle of, well, not anymore, but we would open a bottle of wine and have a chat and cook dinner together. So we like cooking, we'll go for a walk, go out with friends. We would watch a movie maybe once in a month or so on a laptop, but because it's just a laptop, it's not really comfortable anyway. Yeah, so we just used to it. We got some board games actually, and board games. Now with the baby, we don't have time for any of that. But yeah, that's kind of what we always go for a swim, go for a walk.
Are you an avid reader then?
I used to be, but since kind of working full time behind a computer, my eyes get really tired and I get tired and I read 2 pages and I fall asleep. So we actually got into audiobooks recently. A few years back.
Yeah.
And we really love it. We started listening to them while driving and then kind of adopted that and listened to them pretty much every night. And it's really nice because you can listen to a book with someone else, and so you're going through the book together.
Yeah,
you never have that when you read it, right? Because someone either read it or is in a different part, so you can't discuss what's actually happening. Whereas if you both in the same, like at the same stage of the plot, you're like, oh yeah, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really cool. I really like that because we're kind of sharing the book together.
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Okay. And what's the latest audiobook that you've been listening to?
We've been listening to Nelson Mandela's autobiography at the moment. So
yeah.
It's quite nice.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. And what's your go-to dinner? Do you cook a lot now, or are you no way?
We used to, as I said, we used to cook a lot, and my husband is a very good chef and we like experimenting and trying different flavors. But at the moment, it's really gone back to the basics, and a lot of the times we're just too tired and order pizza because we can't afford it anymore. Which is a bit of, I'm a bit embarrassed about it, but we'll get better at it again.
With a 3-month-old, everything goes to one side for a little bit, and then they grow up and they start sleeping through the night properly and regularly, more consistent, and then you get better sleep and things just tend to fall into place a little bit later on. So don't beat yourself up too much about it.
The sleep is funny now because even though she sleeps, I don't. I feel like I'm just waking up every hour and checking on her. So
they train you. They train you to wake up. And I remember when I had my girls, I used to be able to fall asleep like that, as soon, especially after a night feed. I'd feed them, put them down, and then I'd be out to it because I thought, if I don't sleep now, I'm never going to sleep. So I kind of trained myself to fall asleep quickly, but I would a little, and I'd be up straight away. So I was tuned into those screams. It wasn't even a scream half the time. It could have just been a noise. And I had them in their own rooms from day one because absolutely. Because we had not very good insulation in the walls anyway. So I could hear them. But
just the hassle of going to feed them, I find.
Yeah, it is a hassle.
It's not worth it. She started in her cot.
Yeah.
Now she's in my bed because I can't be bothered even getting up. So she has a little bassinet that's in the bed. So I just literally take her out and put her back. So, but I hear everything. So
that's the thing.
So for me,
I had both the girls in their bedrooms straight away. And I would get up and do that because that was my job. Because I did have the time off like you. I was on maternity leave, but my husband still had to go to work, and I felt real guilt. If he woke up, I was like, oh, but you've got to work, and I can actually, lounge around during the day and chill.
Yeah.
So that's why I did it. But like
Yeah.
if I had another one, I don't know how I'd do it now. Well, because we're in a 2-bedroom house, so three kids in a 2-bedroom house would not work very well at all. Moving on. So, what is one area of your life you would like to improve, Viv?
I think it's being able to switch off, and it's I guess a lot of people who run their own business from home would have a similar problem, and so being able to really draw the line between family and work has been quite hard. So I'm breastfeeding and answering emails with the other hand, and just trying to squeeze in work wherever I can, and I'm finding that it's not healthy, so I need to just let that go a little bit. But it's really hard because you just have those things that you have to do, and you have so little time during the day, and you can't just have a block of 3 hours to get it done. It doesn't exist. So it's always 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Oh, she's asleep. Okay, I have half an hour. Quickly, do stuff. So it's really challenging, and I don't know what the solution is, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm finding like 10 years ago, it wasn't like that. I'm sure it wasn't like that. I feel like nowadays, mums are going into business a lot more, especially in their, like when they've just had a baby and they're not giving themselves that time to just chillax, I suppose. And I don't, but also the thing is like, you do have time, but you don't have time, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I started studying this course when I had my first kid, and for the first 6 months I was getting through the material, and then the next 6 months I was like, what have I done? Like, this baby has become full on. They're moving, they're eating, they're wanting more attention. So I didn't continue on with that course. I was like, whoopsie daisies. Okay, moving on to the next question. What is your fear and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, this one made me think, actually. So I guess my greatest fear is not living my life to the full potential. And the way I combat it is that I just do everything all the time at once. So, and that's my problem in general. Like, I always try and be everywhere, do everything. And I guess I need that stimulation. Like, I'm active and I always want to do things. So I need it. I know if I didn't have this venture now, I'd be really bored.
Yeah,
but at
absolutely.
the same time, there's days when I'm just like, what are you doing? Why can't you just relax? But I just can't somehow.
Well, I think
so it's a driver in a way, but also a bit of a thing that, is making your life more complicated, I guess.
Well, also, I think you might be at a stage of your life as well where, as you say, you want to give back to the environment, and you're very conscious about the environment, and this is your like little venture to be able to do that. So it's fulfilling, like it's giving you that feel good stuff inside as well. So it's not just a business for profit; it's a business to give back. So
yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. Okay, I've got 3 quick questions and then I'll let you get on with your day. Question number 1, have you signed up to any websites recently that you find value in receiving their emails?
Yeah, so one kind of resource for me is sumo.com, and it's a website a guy I've been following for a while. He's a great marketer. So for anyone looking for marketing advice, I'd really recommend that, especially for small businesses. He's got really good hacks and ideas how to, get more traffic, more conversions.
Is he based in America? Because it's a .com? Okay, American. Yeah, I follow a lot of American people. They tend to be ahead of the trends, and then they follow through to Australia. So, yes. What's one piece of advice you would give your pre-baby self?
I'd say, it's not as scary as I thought. So I was always quite terrified of having a baby, and I guess the whole physical experience of it as well, being pregnant, giving birth and breastfeeding and all that. And I actually love being pregnant, which I never thought I would. So yeah, it's actually not as scary as I thought. So.
Brilliant. That's good. That's a good outcome, It's really good.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some stories, and some women's experiences aren't that pleasant. So
I know.
yes, mine was very pleasant. I enjoyed being pregnant, and the whole giving birth thing was very scary. Like maybe not the first time round because I didn't know what was coming, but the second time round I was like, oh no, I know what's happening here.
Yeah, I know.
And final question, what is the most useful and useless baby items you have?
So the most useful one, which actually just collapsed last night, is it deflated. It's a gym ball. So I got it when I was pregnant, and I was bouncing on it and kind of exercising with it. And then when Josefina was born, we've been using it to actually settle her.
How do you settle her? Do you sit on it and you bounce?
Yeah, and I bounced on it. Yeah. And it deflated last night. And my husband's like, we have a problem. And I was like, what? And I was just looking at him going down on the ball, and I'm like, oh no, what are we going to do? Because it's literally the thing that we use every single time we settle her. So yeah, we have a problem now.
So you're going to go shopping?
We're going traveling in about a month, so I think it's a good time that it actually happens. We need to get her the gym ball.
She's addicted to the gym ball.
Literally, like she'd be screaming her head off, and you sit on it, and the minute you bounce, the first bounce, she's like, oh,
yep,
and she's fine.
Well, fantastic. At least you found that one thing. Thank you so much, Viv, for being on the podcast today. It's been a pleasure to speak with you this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yay!
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of the Busy Mum podcast. Don't forget to let your friends know, and also subscribe to the iTunes channel, and also my socials if you want to see what I'm getting up to. A brand new episode is out every Monday morning, just like clockwork.